Good morning, student. Welcome to my class. Last class we discussed what is Newton's first law of motion and what is the property of inertia, and different example based on moment of inertia condition. So now let's start another concept of dynamics or laws of motion, that is known as linear momentum. So what is momentum? Suppose there is a body of mass m moving with velocity v, then the quantity of motion contained in a body is called linear momentum. Clear? Means possess some velocity and possess some mass with a direction. So we can say the quantity of momentum, the quantity of force, the quantity of motion contained in a body is called linear momentum. Clear? The mass of the body m which moving on a surface with velocity v with this direction. So the quantity of motion contained in a body is called linear momentum, and you can write the general mathematical formula of momentum. It is the product of mass m and velocity. Mass and velocity of a body is known as momentum. So it is the product of mass and velocity which give another one physical quantity, and that physical quantity is known as linear momentum. It is denoted by capital P, mass represented by m, and velocity represented by v. This is scalar form, but velocity is a vector quantity, mass is your scalar quantity, so that linear momentum also a vector quantity. Clear? So we already know what is vector quantity. It possesses both magnitude and direction, because velocity also possesses both magnitude and direction. Similarly, momentum depends on the velocity or momentum depends on a mass, but while we are calculating or while we are measuring the direction of momentum, at that time we have to focus on the direction of velocity. So here momentum possesses two physical two quantities here, and that is first one it possesses magnitude and second one it possesses direction. Clear? So momentum, it is a vector quantity and its direction is along the direction of velocity, along the direction of velocity of the body. Clear? And its magnitude, that is P equal to, you can write, that is mass into velocity. This is magnitude and it gives direction of the momentum. Velocity gives direction of the momentum, means the direction of velocity is same as that of direction of momentum. Clear? Okay. So next, what will be its unit in SI system and CGS system? In SI system, the unit of momentum can be write P equal to m into v. In SI system, momentum can be write m means mass, so you have to measure here kg into velocity meter per second. So this is the SI unit of momentum, kg meter per second. And if you want to find its dimensional formula, then you can calculate dimension here. That is dimension of momentum P equal to kg represented by capital M, m1. Here m means meter per second. So meter, its dimensional formula L1. Similarly divided by time, so dimensional formula T minus 1. Clear? So m1 L1 m1 l1 t minus 1 is dimensional formula of linear momentum, and its CGS unit P equal to mass into velocity in CGS system. The mass is measured in gram into velocity, that is centimeter per second. This is the CGS unit of momentum of a body. So these are the basic condition of momentum of a body, and from this explanation we conclude that momentum means the quantity of motion possessed in a body. It has two properties, one magnitude and second one direction. Direction depends on the direction of velocity of the body. Clear? Okay. So now let's study special case. Momentum depends on which factor? If mass of the body change, then momentum change. If velocity of the body also change, then momentum also change. Clear? So now let's start its special case. Case 1. Suppose two body, if two bodies of masses, suppose m1 and m2, which moving with velocity v1 and v2, moving with velocity v1 and v2, and possess equal momentum. So here suppose two body, here this is mass m1 moving with velocity v1, and another body of mass m2 moving with velocity v2. So here momentum we can write first body p1 equal to m1 v1, and second body momentum here, that is mass m2 and velocity v2. Clear? Okay. And given that possess equal momentum, so according to definition we can write p1 equal to p2 means m1 v1 equal to m2 v2. So we can write here m1 by m2 equal to how much? That is v2 by v1. This is general case. So here we can write that is mass inversely proportional to velocity. Mass inversely proportional to velocity, or velocity inversely proportional to mass in this case. Clear? And again we can conclude that if mass of the first body is greater as compared to second body, so in this case velocity will be increased because mass inversely proportional to velocity here. So in this case then v2 greater than v1 when their momentum are equal, when p1 equal to p2, means when two body are moving with same momentum, at that time the body which possess larger mass, then its speed will be decreased, or the heavier body possess smaller velocity, lighter body possess larger velocity. This is the meaning. m1 here inversely proportional to m2 means a lighter body possess lighter body possess here small velocity, and here mass decrease means velocity increase is here. Clear? So this is one important case you have to remember here. Next, if you draw the graph, because momentum is here constant in this case, so if you draw the graph velocity versus mass, so I am taking here along y axis velocity and along x axis is here a mass, then momentum is constant, so p equal to mass into velocity and momentum constant, so mass inversely proportional to velocity. So the graph will be like this. Clear? If mass increase, then velocity decrease. Okay, next. Case 2. if two body moving with same mass, suppose m1 equal to m2 equal to m, means two body here mass m1 with velocity v1 and second body mass m2 velocity v2. Clear? And their velocities, they are velocities v1 and v2. So at that time, but given that m1 m2 are equal mass, two bodies possess velocity v1 and v2 and having equal masses. So at that time, if you compare momentum of first body as compared to second body, so in this case we can write momentum of first body equal to mass into velocity, because m here mass are equal, and second body momentum we can write mass into velocity. But this is equation 1, this is equation number 2. Now dividing equation 1 by equation 2, so we can write here P1 by P2 equal to mv1 by mv2, mass cancel, so we can write P1 by P2 equal here, that is v1 by v2, or we can write momentum directly proportional to velocity. Means if two body possess equal mass, then if velocity increase, if v1 greater than v2, then p1 greater than p2. It means that if two body possess equal mass, then which body possess larger velocity have larger momentum, and the body possess smaller velocity which have smaller momentum. Clear? Or if you want to draw the graph of P equal to mass into velocity, but here mass is constant, so velocity directly proportional to, momentum directly proportional to velocity, because we already have a relation, that is y equal to mx plus c. So this is a straight line equation. Here the power is 1, maximum power is 1. So similarly P equal to m, P equal to m into v. Now compare this equation plus c equal to 0, and c is 0 here. So the power, maximum power of momentum is 1, velocity power is 1. Clear? So m is here, but here m is mass of the body, and this m which represents slope of xy curve or xy graph, slope is m. So here PV graph slope is m, means mass. So in this case, suppose this is y axis and here x axis. Along x axis we have to take momentum. So momentum here along y axis momentum, and x axis we have to take velocity is here. Clear? But here c equal to 0 means the axis, the line, straight line passing through this origin like this. Clear? And if we take this angle theta, then this is right angle triangle. So theta means slope, tan theta. So slope equal to here tan theta equal to perpendicular upon base. This is perpendicular and this is base. Perpendicular means momentum. So you can write here momentum by base. Base is your velocity. Clear? So P by V equal to mass. Here mass of a body. Clear? So question may ask in your counselor examination, what is the slope of momentum velocity graph? It give mass of the body. Clear? And if mass of the body here constant, because slope is constant, each and every point slope is constant. Another one important property, the body which possess larger velocity have larger momentum as compared to second body. Clear? This is second application, you can say second case of linear momentum. Now let's start. Third case of linear momentum is here. So in third case, case 3, suppose two body of masses m1 and m2, and two bodies are moving with same velocity. Here v1 equal to v2 equal to v, or two body having different masses moving a common velocity v1 equal to v2 equal to v. Then find the momentum of the body. Now compare the momentum or comment on momentum of a body. So in this case, suppose here mass m1, velocity v, and another body mass m2 with velocity v. So here initial momentum of first body you can write m1 into v and second body m2 into v. This is equation number 1 and equation number 2. Now divide equation number 1. So P1 by P2, equation 1 by equation 2 you can write m1 v divided by m2 into v, and v cancel here, so you can write P1 by P2 equal to how much? That is m1 by m2. So from this relation we conclude that momentum is directly proportional to mass, because P1 here m1 means directly proportional, so P directly proportional to m. Clear? Okay. If m1 is greater than m2, because velocity is constant, so in this case P1 is greater than P2. Clear? So heavier mass having larger momentum as compared to second one. That means suppose there is a car. Suppose a car moving with speed 20 meter per second. Clear? And its mass, suppose I am taking here mass of the car, how much? Suppose example 50 kg. Then here there is a truck which moving with speed, same speed 20 meter per second, but possess mass how much? Suppose here mass 100 kg. So find the momentum of the different object, or compare the momentum of their car and this truck. So in this case, when they are moving with common velocity but different masses, then according to this definition, then which momentum? This is truck and this is car. Then we can write momentum of truck, because if mass increase then momentum also increase for constant velocity. So here the momentum of truck greater than momentum of car. Clear? Now come to graphical method here. So P equal to how much? That is P equal to mass into velocity, like y equal to mx plus c. But here velocity is constant. Velocity is constant quantity, so we can write here Vm plus 0. Now compare this two relation. Along y-axis, here momentum along x-axis, this is x-axis, and mass, because mass is variable here. So here mass along x-axis. Clear? Okay. But here P directly proportional to P, momentum is directly proportional to mass. So here C is 0. So the straight line which passing through the origin like this, and this is slope. So slope of PM graph, slope of momentum mass graph gives velocity of a body, but here momentum, slope is constant, because this is straight line motion, and here velocity is also constant quantity. Clear? So these are the special case of linear momentum, and how to calculate linear momentum, how to compare linear momentum with different object when they are moving different speed with different masses. Clear? These are all about linear momentum. Now next start, Newton's second law of motion. Newton's second law of motion is very important. So what is Newton's first law of motion? Newton's first law of motion, which give the inertia property of a body, but Newton's second law of motion. Now we will start here. Newton's second law of motion. So now let's start statement. Statement of Newton's second law of motion. According to this statement, or according to this law, the rate of The rate of change of linear momentum. The rate of change of linear momentum of a body is directly proportional to directly proportional to the net force acting or net force apply on the body and its change along the direction of applied force. This is the statement of Newton's second law of motion. So what is Newton's second law of motion? According to this statement, the rate of change of linear momentum, rate of change of linear momentum. So you can write here dp by dt means rate of change of velocity, rate of change of acceleration, rate of change of displacement, like rate of change of linear momentum of a body is directly proportional to net force acting on the body. So F net force acting on the body, and its change is along the direction of applied force. Means suppose in straight line motion or this direction, suppose there is a body of mass m moving with velocity v, or you can say initial velocity u. After apply external force on the body, it changes its velocity initial u to final velocity v, and velocity apply on the body this direction f. Clear? So we already know that if there is no external force, then a body continue to move along a straight line motion with initial state or uniform motion. But when we apply force on a body, this force means external force, then it changes velocity initial to final, or you can say it's retardation produced in the body. Retardation means velocity decreasing or velocity increasing, or try to produce these things. So here this is the direction of force, then the velocity produced or the momentum produced in the body, because it possesses mass and velocity, it possesses momentum. So momentum changes along the direction of applied force. This is the direction of applied force. So momentum changes along this direction. This is known as Newton's second law of motion. The rate of change of linear momentum is directly proportional to net force applied on the body, and its change and its effect is along the direction of applied force. Clear? And we can write here F net equal to, there is one constant quantity k, suppose here, then dp by dt. If you take the value of constant k equal to 1, then we can write net force is equal to dp by dt. This is known as Newton's second law of motion. Clear? And suppose body moving with some velocity v and possess mass m. At that time we can write this momentum, that is d by dt upon p, momentum p equal to mass into velocity. So mass into velocity. Now F net equal to differentiation with respect to time, differentiation of mass into velocity. Clear? This is known as Newton's second law of motion. So here mass and velocity are two physical quantity here. So that if mass and velocity, we have to first use your differential equation, differentiation case. and at that time we can find the net force applied on the body and Newton's second law of motion. Clear? Now let's start its cases. So F equal to F net equal to d by dt of mass into velocity vector. Clear? Okay. So now let's start case number 1. If mass of a body is constant, or if we use differentiation process here, then suppose mass I am taking here constant, or we can write m like d by dx of u into v. So here du into dv by dx plus v into du by dx. This is differentiation rule. We have to apply here chain rule. So if you apply this case here, then m mass differentiation of velocity with respect to time plus velocity is your common factor, then we have to write dm by dt. If both mass and velocity are variable quantity, and this is the general expression for Newton's second law of motion. Now let's start case 1. Case 1, if mass of a body, if mass of the body is constant, means m is here constant quantity. We already know the differentiation of constant quantity is always 0. So if we use this concept here, then Newton's second law of motion can be write F net equal to mass is constant here, so m dv by dt plus v into dm by dt. This is constant quantity. So the differentiation of constant quantity is always 0. Clear? And this case m equal to how much? That is dv by dt. And here dv by dt, rate of change of velocity with respect to time is known as acceleration. So mass into acceleration, and here net force. This is one important case where mass of the body is constant. At that time, net force acting on a body which is equal to mass into acceleration. But you have to remember here mass is constant quantity. So here in this chapter we will deal with this formula F equal to mass into acceleration, where mass of the body is constant, and this case is known as non-relativistic motion. Non-relativistic motion, or you can say in Newtonian mechanics we have to assume the mass of the body remain constant quantity. Clear? This is known as non-relativistic motion. Non-relativistic motion means mass of the body we have to take here constant quantity. Clear? Next come to second case. So case 2, here if mass of the body not constant, means m is variable, m variable, and here v also variable. So in this case net force can be write F net equal to dmv divided by dt, which is equal to m into dv by dt plus dm by dt. If mass of a body is not constant, then we have to use this relation, and this relation valid relativistic motion. You will study in your higher study special theory of relativity according to Einstein. So in this case there is a mass m equal to, that is m naught 1 by v square minus c square under root is here, and this m here m equal to variable mass of the body, and m naught is known as rest mass, and V means velocity of the body or object, and C, that is speed of light. Speed of light. This is important factor. So in this case, in relativistic motion case, mass is not constant. So how mass is not constant? In this case, if a object which moving with speed of light, means the velocity when comparable with the speed of light, the object which can move with a velocity, and because the speed of light 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second means nearly equal to this speed, at that time its mass change. If initial mass suppose 1 kg, if this object moving with nearly equal to this speed, then their mass changes 1 kg to some factor, means 1.1, 1.2, etc. Clear? So mass changes. Condition is important is here, if body moving with nearly equal to, if body moving nearly equal to speed of light. So this case is only possible in case of microscopic object. Microscopic object like electron, proton, etc. But this case possible macroscopic object. Clear? Okay, so these are the special cases of Newton's second law of motion. You have to remember this case. This case is important case. Now let's start. Unit of force. Unit of force. There is two type of unit of force. First one, absolute unit. Absolute unit of force. And second one, gravitational unit of force. So what is the difference between absolute unit and gravitational unit? Because we already know gravitation means acceleration always depends on the gravitational force, acceleration due to gravity. But in this case we have to take only acceleration here. So absolute unit of force, a force is said to be absolute unit of force if it produce unit acceleration, if it produce unit acceleration in a body of mass m. Clear? If acceleration, if a body of unit mass, you can write here, body of unit mass. So next come to first write SI unit of absolute unit. So in SI system, the absolute unit of force, that is Newton. Clear? Or in symbolical representation, that is capital N. So F equal to mass into acceleration. So F is here Newton. In SI system we have to use mass, that is 1 kg, acceleration of a body 1 meter per second square, then we can say this is 1 Newton. So you can write the definition of 1 Newton. So what is the definition of 1 Newton? If the force of a body is said to be 1 Newton, the force of a body is said to be 1 Newton if it produce if it produce acceleration, if it produce acceleration 1 meter per second square in a body of mass how much? Here 1 kg. This is the definition of 1 Newton. Clear? So you have to remember this definition. Next come to CGS unit. So CGS unit of force, the absolute unit of force in CGS system, that is known as dyne. Because F equal to mass into acceleration, and CGS unit here dyne 1 gram into 1 centimeter per second square. This is the CGS unit of dyne. So can you write the definition of 1 dyne? The force of a body, or the force is said to be 1 dyne when it produces an acceleration 1 centimeter per second square in a body and it possesses the mass equal to 1 gram. This is the definition of 1 dyne and 1 Newton. Clear? So if you write its relation between dyne and Newton, so here 1 Newton equal to, so 1 Newton equal to 1 meter into 1 meter per second square, and 1 meter we can write, this is 1 kg. 1 kg we can write here, that is 1000 gram into 1 meter equal to 100 centimeter per second square, and here 10 to the power 5 gram centimeter per second square. Like this, gram centimeter per second square equal to dyne. So this is 10 to the power 5 dyne. So this is the relation between Newton and dyne. So 1 Newton equal to how much? 10 to the power 5 dyne. Next come to gravitational unit of force. So gravitational unit of force means a force is said to be gravitational unit of force if its acceleration equal to acceleration due to gravity. Acceleration due to gravity in a body of unit mass or possess mass. And similarly in SI system we can write the gravitational unit of force, that is kilogram weight. The gravitational unit of force in SI system, that is kilogram weight, or simply you can write kg weight or kilogram force, kgf. Clear? And F equal to mass into acceleration, because unit is here kilogram weight or kilogram force or kgf. So 1 kgf equal to how much? Mass is represented by, here in SI system we can write 1 kg into acceleration, because acceleration is here acceleration due to gravity. So we have to use here acceleration equal to 9.8 meter per second square. We have to use this concept here. So 9.8 meter per second square, which equal to 9.8 kg meter per second square, and kg meter per second square is known as Newton. 1 Newton equal to 1 kg into 1 meter per second square. So we have to write here, that is 9.8 Newton. So this is important relation you have to remember. 1 kilogram force which equal to 9.8 Newton. Clear? Okay. Or you can write the definition of 1 kg weight also by using this concept here. When a force produces an acceleration 9.8 meter per second square in a body, and that body which possesses a mass of 1 kilogram, at that time we can say the body which acted upon a force which is equal to 1 kg, 1 kilogram force. Clear? Okay. So next CGS unit. CGS unit of gravitational force. The gravitational unit of force in CGS system, we can write gram weight. Gram weight, or you can write gram force. Gram force, because F equal to mass into acceleration. So 1 gram force which is equal to 1 gram into acceleration, how much? Because acceleration equal to 9.8 meter per second square in SI system, but in CGS system we have to write here 9.8, 1 meter equal to 10 to the power 2 centimeter per second square, which is equal to 980 centimeter per second square. Clear? So you have to write here 980 centimeter per second square, then 980 here gram centimeter per second square. Gram centimeter per second square is the unit of dyne. 1 dyne equal to how much? 1 gram into 1 centimeter per second square equal to 1 dyne. So we have to write here 980 dyne equal to 1 gram force. Clear? So you can write the definition of 1 gram force. The acceleration, 1 gram force is that force which produces an acceleration in a body 980 centimeter per second square, and that body possesses a mass 1 gram. Clear? So this is the definition you can write from this relation. So these are all about different unit of force. So you have to remember what is absolute unit of force and what is gravitational unit of force. Clear? Okay. So next class we will start Newton's third law of motion. So you have to remember all this concept. What is first law? What is inertia property? What is linear momentum? What are the different cases of linear momentum? And what is Newton's second law of motion? And what are the unit of gravitational force? Sorry, what are the unit of force in terms of gravitational force or gravitational unit? And another one unit that was absolute unit of force. Clear? Thank you all.